Hello everyone and welcome back to Family Life Builders TV, where we're rebuilding homes and transforming society. My name is Tosin Opeoluwa. Today I'm going to be sharing with you about some of my findings. You all know that for a long time now, for over 4 years, I've been working on domestic violence. I've been doing lots of research, and that's why I have my first book on goodbye domestic violence. It's on Amazon. I'm also going to put the link right here in the description after this live show so that you all can check it out. And if you want a copy, you can actually send a message to me on familylifebuilderstv@gmail.com, and I'm going to be willing to send you a copy of the video. So today I'm working on a particular research again because I'm going to be consistently work on domestic violence, ending domestic violence. So I'm going to be sharing with you today, and I'm going to be having my slide up. Copyright is attached, so I don't use the slide without notifying me. So I'm going to be showing you the slide of my presentation today. It's going to be more of presentation, so let's enjoy it together. If you're joining me for the first time, I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share because we have a lot and lot to present on this channel. So today, let's look at this presentation today. If you are joining from anywhere around the world, put your name in the comment section below so that I can give you a shout out, I can recognize you, and I'll be able to appreciate you for coming today on the show. So don't forget to please do that so that I can say hello, so that I can say thank you for coming to the show today. I know, and I'm also greeting people that will be joining us later because I know that a lot of people will also be joining us later. After that, those who will be watching the replay of this show. Right. Okay, once again, my name is Tosin Opeoluwa, and this is what I do. I'm a transformational coach. I've seen a number of things that happens in family. As also a child who witnessed domestic violence, I don't ever want anyone to do so again. And I realize that this is still increasing in our society today. So we need to do something about it. We all cannot fold our hands and pretend as if everything is going on well. So I have a bachelor's in information resources management, and I have master's in human sciences with concentration on marriage and family therapy. I have quite a lot of certification in cognitive behavioral therapy, neuro-linguistic programming. I'm a certified entrepreneurship coach, certified transformational coach. I'm a certified life purpose coach, and several other of them. I'm also a professional etiquette consultant. So if you see me, everything I put them together simply because I want to make a difference in my own life and in the life of someone out there so that we can have a good relationship and we can enjoy a good family life. I'm also an associate of the Nigerian Institute of Training and Development. So today let's look at, so what exactly is this intimate partner violence? Uh, according to CDC and according to even WHO, what they told us is that intimate partner violence describes physical, sexual, and psychological harm by a current or former intimate partner or spouse. So most of the time, people don't even know when they are experiencing some of these things, because when we're talking about psychological harm, then it's not really physical from a distance, But when you really go closer to those people, you know that something is going on in their life. And that's why you see a lot of women, when you go to psychiatric ward, you find more women there than men. When you find men in psychiatric ward, they are probably either psychotic or they went into drug, but when it turns to women accession, you realize that 80% of them are suffering from issues with relationship. So we have the physical violence and the threat, the psychological, the emotional stalking is also there, and then the sexual violence. We know that this is how it looks like. Actually, this is part of my questionnaire for my current study. Currently, I'm looking at severity of abuse and help-seeking behavior of women. So this is just a snapshot of my questionnaire on that. So when the person hits you, when the person punch you, when the person kick you, when the person choke you, when the person beat you up, when the person use a knife or gun to threaten you, then that is typical physical violence. So when the person force you to have sex with them, when they force you to have oral or anal sex, when they force you to have sexual intercourse against your will, even if you are both married, even if you're both in a relationship, there is something that I teach my children. It's called consent, and every one of us should endeavor to teach our children about consent. It's very, very essential that we teach these kids about consent. So if somebody does not consent with you in having sex, that is sexual violence. You have violated them. And emotional. So when we're looking at emotional, they say things against you. That you told them something, and let me say this. Let me back up a bit. Not only your intimate partner violates you, but for the sake of focusing on this research work, that's why I have always been dealing with intimate partner violence. But the truth is, friends also, they violate one another. Parents also, they violate one another. For instance, if you tell your mom about someone who is trying to date you, and maybe after some days you have an argument with your mom, and she come up and say, it's not your fault, Shebi, they are trying to, they are coming for you also, or someone is toasting you also. That's why you're behaving that way. That's not right. That's not cool. That is emotional abuse. It's just not right. So the same thing applies to when you tell your intimate partner about something that is going on in your life and they are using it against you. That's not cool. That is not right. That is emotional abuse. Also, they try to keep you from doing something that you really want to do. So, and let me say it this way, it could sometimes is so much subtle that even when you even when you try to, when they tell you that you can do it, they will not support you. So that is emotional abuse. You don't have to be involved in what your partner is doing, but you really need to show your support and let them know that you really support them, because sometimes you don't know what they are doing. You don't know how to help them, but you can actually ask them how you could help them. So when they are trying to stop you or they are not showing interest, that's why you see a lot of women are out there who are beautiful singers before they got married or at the early stage of their marriage, but you just discover that you couldn't hear their voice again. Their voice is gone. Because why? They married this person that will not support their dream, that will not support their vision, that does not even believe in what they're doing. So this is very, very essential for women to note this. I have a friend who has been through intimate partner violence, and I remember this is a very brilliant lady. This is a lady that really knows how to design things, how to create things. And this guy will tell her she doesn't know how to do anything. So this is emotional abuse. They tell you you're worthless. As a matter of fact, some of them will go ahead and tell you that if I leave you today, you are not going to get a better person, which is a very big lie. If you leave them today because you are a quality person, you are going to get someone who is 10 times better than them. Because why? You are more beautiful, you are powerful, you are strong, you are brilliant, and you have the character, you have the attitude. It's just that you have some other things in your life that does not make you to see that you're codependent. That does not make you to see that something is really wrong with your background, and you really need to check and ensure that things change for you, so that the cycle of abuse could really end. So these are some of the things that indicates emotional or psychological abuse. This is just few of them, about 75 questions that I have on my questionnaire. In case you want to be involved in this study, you can actually contact me at familybuilderstv@gmail.com, and I'm going to let you know how I can send you the survey, and you're going to sign the consent form before you could be able to participate in this study. All right, so why is this a problem? It's a problem because worldwide, all researchers have said it is a global health issue. Intimate partner violence is a global health issue because why? In fact, in one of my studies, I realized that every year, organization lose about $16 billion every year towards health insurance of people who have gone through domestic violence, towards them being absent from work as a result of injury. So how is this really helping us? And we also see that a lot of women cannot even take care of their children, take care of themselves, or be able to contribute to the society meaningfully, simply because they are going through intimate partner violence. This is something, it is something of concern. It affects the overall well-being of a woman. And guess what? 20 people experience abuse in 1 minute in the United States, meaning that over 10 million people experience intimate partner violence every year. What are we doing? Are we going to continue like this? Is this what we want for our generation? Is this what we want for our women? Is this what we want for our children to come? And I have the statistics from other organizations according to the World Economic Forum in 2019. This is the percentage table of the number of intimate partner violence across the nation. Unfortunately, we did not see a breakdown of Nigeria own, and that's why I'm going to try and see this study on how people seek help in Nigeria when they are experiencing intimate partner violence, because people will hardly want to talk about it in the African settings, simply because you want to cover the abuser, simply because the culture says you have to stay in your husband's house, simply because the culture tells us that once you marry, you're married, life or death. Um, is this culture helping us? Should we do something? Should we take the life of these people back from their abuser, so that we can have a better world, a better society? Remember, the truth is the general decadence we are seeing in our society today is the result of what is going on in every family all around the world. If the family becomes better today, the world will become better, the community will become better. So at the micro, at the macro level, at the meso level, we really need to come to this point where we take hold of restoring family values by eradicating intimate partner violence in our communities, in our homes, and in our families. So let's look at the cycle of violence. Now, also is the same thing as the cycle of abuse. Actually, in most and in my operational definition of terms, I always refer to abuse or violence as the same thing because they are the same thing. All right, so at some point you have, this is where it starts. I'm going to start from this right here, the tension building. So abuser shows increasing more anger about something, and then there's a breakdown of communication. They start stonewalling you, they become quiet, they are treating you with they're giving you silent treatment. Sometimes some of them are so terrible that they stop eating your food. If you're a woman, they see that as punishment, and I see that it looks like they see it from their parents, especially in the African settings. Then the victim feels the need to keep the abuser calm. So at that point, as a woman who is a special enabler, you want to do what you want to calm them down. You want to try as much as possible to make them feel okay, do everything to satisfy them, just to ensure that there is no argument and everything is okay. And then the victim feels like they're walking on eggshells, so you have to keep tiptoeing around. You don't know what you will say that will get them upset. You really want to try as much as possible to keep them calm, so you please them all the way. And then at a point, the next thing that happen is the length of time for each stage in the circle. It always vary, it always vary. And in an abusive relationship, the cycle can happen hundreds of times, and that's the truth. It's going to happen over and over and over and over again. So after the tension has built and it has reached the ceiling or the boiling point, then the next thing that will happen is the abuse is going to occur. It's going to either be physical, be sexual, be social, be psychological, be verbal, and it could be financial. You know, um, women generally, I want to say that women abuse men, men abuse women. So, but the only thing is the statistics shows us that men do that more than women, especially in the patriarchal society. So when the incident occur, it could range from calling you names, calling you stupid, calling you idiot, telling you you don't know how to do anything, you can't do anything well, you're dark, you are fat, you're not looking good, you smell and all that. So then it could move on to sexual. It could be they force you to have sex even when they know that you're tired. I once showed a video on Inspiring Single Moms channel. I think it was around 2019 that I saw the video during the COVID, and the guy slept with the girl so much that the girl ran out of the house and said, "Do you want to kill me?" Yes. So that is sexual abuse. Even if you are the husband, you should not be when they're tired, they're tired. So you should allow them to breathe before they could have another sex again. Okay, and psychological, emotional, verbal, financial. Financial could be financial could be as bad as they don't give you money to take care of yourself. They don't give you money to take care of the children. They don't give you money for the feeding. And then when you struggle and provide anything, then they start guessing that you're sleeping with another man, and then they start beating you from there. I mean, I've seen that. They said, where did you get money? I did not give you money. Where did you get money? So they really expect, they rejoice in the woman being broken. They rejoice in the woman going through pain. That's another word for another day, because it's narcissists that actually do more of that. And then they move up to the space of denial. So the abuser will accuse you. They are going to minimize what happened and say it's not a big deal. I'm just trying to train you. I've seen spouses that said that to their wife. No, I'm just training you because your parents don't train you. You're rude. So when I give you a dirty slap, then your head will be correct. That's not cool. That's an abuse. Then abuser will also blame you that you caused it. You caused it. You caused it. You make me do that. You caused it. And then the next thing is the abuser may say that the incident wasn't as bad as you claim. I mean, you're not so injured. I mean, you only have a bruise. Okay, and then they are going to promise, they are going to make the promise and say, okay, this will not happen again. I'm so sorry. I love you. You know, and once you hear that, as a woman who does not know herself, as a woman who does not know her worth, as a woman who is lacking something from her childhood, as a woman who lacks self-esteem, because the abuser have broken your self-esteem over and over again, so, and you feel like you don't have anybody again. As a matter of fact, most abuser will also cut you off from your family and friends, so they happens to be the only one you have. You have to depend on them because you don't have anywhere to go if they leave you alone. So they draw you closer and you move to the honeymoon stage. And at the honeymoon stage, they might eventually apologize and tell you it won't happen again. They will tell you that they love you. They can buy you gifts. They can take you out. They can have sex with you even when you're bleeding. Like they beat you, you're bleeding, and they're going to have sex with you. And you call that love. Is that love? I don't understand that. So, when that happened, because the abuser already begged you, you don't feel like there's a need for me to seek help. Is there a need for me to seek help? No, I don't think there's a need for me to seek help because he already begged me. And you're gonna get to work the following day and you have bruises here, and you're gonna like, and your friend will come around and say, hey girl, what happened? You can say, well, I fell in the kitchen. Here, you're going to keep lying and lying and lying. Excuse me, if you're that friend in that office, please notify the police. Notify the police. You are a bystander and you have the need, you have the obligation, you are obliged to report to the police. When your friend carry bruises and you're not so sure, report to the police, report to social workers. Let them go in there and find out what is going on. Let them question them, because one day you don't want this to happen, that one day they will call you that your friend is gone. And this man will still lie that she fell because, he's used to her lying when she gets to the office that this is what happened. So every woman, directly or indirectly, in intimate partner violence, they seek help. But unfortunately, the kind of help they seek, it is correlated to how they perceive that abuse. So if they feel that this abuse is mild, I did a study in 2019 on immigrants who are from Vietnamese. 53% of them said emotional abuse is not an abuse, that their husband is only training them. And 57% of them did not leave that relationship because why? Because they said they love the man and they don't want to break the tradition. I don't get that. I don't get that. I'm not against culture. I'm not against your tradition. but any tradition that jeopardize your well-being, your overall well-being as a woman, should be adjusted to favor you as a woman so that you can be what you are destined to be. So when the abuse is severe, maybe it's now involved injury, they beat you so much that you passed out and landed in ER, then at that point you begin to perceive it as severe. That is when they involve the police, that is when they involve the lawyer, the court. That's when they give restrictions to the man from coming to the home. That is when the social workers, the child welfare, that is when everybody come around, and then they want to rescue you when it's almost too late. As a matter of fact, I've seen situations where this abuser will take everything that you have, and the only thing that will be left for you is the breath of life that you have in you, if they are able to bring you back from coma in ER. You want to think about it. Do you seek help? If you've been going through any of this abuse, do you seek help? Do you think you need help? Now, run help seeking, especially when you go to parents, when you go to naive parents, when you go to naive friend. Let me give you this instance. I recently cut my hair. Right now I'm using wig, and I've always been using wig. I weave my hair, I conroll my hair most of the time. But at the point I realized that I will conroll the hair, and I'm just doing the same style every time. I will, the hair is so strong, it's a class C, like very, very spongy. And no matter the conditioner that I put right now, at some point, after 2 hours, the hair is very hard again, and it's always paining me. So I decided to go on low cut, and I shave everything off. After doing that, I decided that I'm going to do a study, and I listed them in my journal according to the response of my friends and families. Some of my families did not say anything. Uh, my children, my son wasn't so happy about it. But he really didn't tell. He just asked me why did I do it, and I told him that it's paining me, and he said, "Mommy, that's okay." And my daughter said, oh, she started crying. She said, "Mommy, how could you do this? How could you do this? Mommy, how could you do this? I told you I will help you to make your hair. I told you I will help you." I said, "But Esther is paining me." Okay, so this is 8-year-old girl. I don't understand how much she understand pain, or how hair pain someone, because she has relaxer on her own hair. So I said, okay. Some other friends, what they asked me was, "Did your husband agree that you cut your hair?" And one of my fathers said something. That is the only person who said that. They asked, number one, they said, "Why did you do it?" I said, "Because the hair is paining me." Then the next thing they said was, "Are you happy?" That word gave me, I have to write a whole paragraph of, emotions around women, their life, and the happiness of their husband versus their own happiness. So for some of my friends, they don't mean evil, they mean well. But did they consider, if I'm happy doing what I'm doing, but they expect my husband to be happy even when I'm not happy with what is going on in my body? This is what we see happen in our society today when women are going through intimate partner violence. Your friends, they are called informal helper. So when you go to your friends or your family members, the informal help they are going to give you will help you strengthen the abuse. And when anything happens to you, eventually, they are only going to cry and mourn you. A lot of women stay in the abuse because their family have told them that if you leave, I'm not going to support you. Don't come to me. Okay? Because nobody has ever done this in the family. Whereas you are dying in that relationship. But they want you to be there because they want to save their face. They never care about your happiness. The next thing is when you seek help from professionals, which many people don't do. I posted something recently. I said people go to therapists because of people in their relationship who doesn't go to therapy. Because people have lots of people in their lives, in their relationship that doesn't go to therapy. And it's because of these people that they are actually in therapy. Do we want to continue our lives this way? Is that what we want? Is that what we want for our lives? I'm not sure that's what we want. Because this cycle of abuse will continue unless you seek help from the right source. So let's talk about how you can break the cycle of abuse. And here, I'm telling you this as this is what I have researched about. And from my certified coaching experiences, I'm not yet a licensed therapist because it's going to cost me 2,000 hours under supervision to get that. So when that is done, I'm going to let you know. But as a certified cognitive behavioral therapist, practitioner, I can tell you this. And you can go and judge it with your licensed therapist. Look at this and go to a therapist, your licensed therapist. I don't know, they run some things in Nigeria. I don't know about that. But right here, you need to be licensed before you can say you are practicing. It's very, very essential. But I'm telling you this as a certified cognitive behavioral therapist and cognitive behavioral coach. Yes. Okay. So in between the fourth and the first one, I'm going to start with that because when you come, then that is when the first abuse starts. So what you are going to do, I'm trying to record it somewhere so that I can post this later. Give me a second. All right. Okay. Thank you. So between the fourth and the first one, what you need to do is to develop a level of self-awareness. Think about what you're thinking about constantly. Because sometimes, you don't even know what you're thinking about. And your thoughts control your attitude. So if what you're thinking about is not right, then you will exhibit negative attitude. So once those attitudes are being exhibited, you might not be able to think right and you won't act right. So you need to become more self-aware so that you can think of what you're thinking about, so that you can be conscious of what is really happening. Because many of you don't even know, or if you're watching to teach someone else out there, they don't even know that what is going on in their life is called abuse. So if you come to the level of awareness, then you will start thinking, this is not right. This is not good for me. This is not good for my health. This is not good for my future. I have a purpose to fulfill, and this will not allow me fulfill that purpose. So I need to change things. I need to change the trajectory of things. I need to turn things around and become a better me so that I can enjoy the best of me for my future. The next thing is you need to find out what is raising the tension. So most of the time, the finances, the sex, yes, money, attitude, abuse of drugs, abuse of other things. Those things, they are part of the things that is raising the tension. So you want to acknowledge those things, recognize them and acknowledge them, and be willing to collaboratively deal with it. So for some of them is anger. Yes, anger is also inclusive. And most of the time, what is causing anger is part of them is inner dissatisfaction. So when your partner is not satisfied within them, they're going to be abusive. For parents, in research, we find out that mothers that abuse their children are mothers who have been abused as a child, who are experiencing abuse themselves, and who does not have inner peace. So when you have inner peace, it's easier for you to see everything about life as beautiful. So at such points, those are the things you need to do. Become self-aware, deal with what you're thinking about, assess the problem, and decide to collaboratively decide on dealing with those things. Between the first stage and the second stage of abuse, what you need to do, you need to start setting boundaries. Many of us don't know how to set boundaries. You have to set physical boundaries, you have to set emotional boundaries, you have to set sexual boundaries. There's a place you can touch in my body, there's a place you can't touch in my body. If we're not married, if we're married, if I don't want anal sex, I don't want it. If I don't want oral sex, I don't want it. I'm only going to have sex that I'm convinced about having with you. However, I'm not saying if you want to have oral sex with your spouse is wrong. It's not. Yes, from therapy perspective, I'm taking a class currently. It's called sexual. I've done sex therapy class before, but this time around, I'm doing sexuality in counseling, and oh my God, it is all round vulgar. So we see that some of those things actually destroy relationship if your partner wants this and you don't want it. So but they don't have to force you even if they want it. Okay, so you need to set those boundaries and much more develop a conflict resolution strategy. This is very, very essential. I remember one of the things I learned before I got married was when I'm angry, don't ask me questions at that time. Let me settle down before you ask me any question. For some couple, they have a chair, they have a conflict resolution chair where they can actually sit down. And in infidelity recovery training, one of the things that we were taught how to train people is each of you sit down on that conflict resolution chair. You say your mind, you lash out if you want to, and you do that for 15 minutes. Then you stand up, the other person will sit down on that chair, and then you're going to lash out. You're going to say all you want to say, and both of you will sit down there again and speak and read out your apology letter, and the other person will also go back and sit down on the chair and read out the apology letter, and both of you were going to sleep that night and probably have sex. Okay, so that's very essential to develop your conflict resolution strategies. Between the third and the fourth one, okay, identify the source of the problem and seek formal help. So the truth is this: sometimes you feel that you can reconcile by yourself, you can help yourself, but the truth is, trust me, you can't help yourself. If you can help yourself, you won't be repeating the pattern. You won't be dancing around the globe of abuse. You won't be repeating the cycle of abuse if indeed if indeed you can handle it yourself. So obviously you cannot handle it by yourself. So go to mental health professional, seek help. What is the problem? If the problem is he doesn't have money, seek help. Go to financial experts. Start reading books. Start looking at all ways of making more money. Okay, so if the problem is mental illness, if you identify anything, let them go to the hospital. If it's depression, if it's bipolar, if it's OCD, if it's all kinds of disorder I can't start mentioning now. If it's borderline, uh, these things, they have solution. They have solution. And let me digress a bit. Someone was saying that if you are a narcissist, you might not change for the rest of your life. Let me tell you, if you are a narcissist, and I'm gonna put my faith into it right now. If you are a narcissist and you have Jesus in your life, and you're still struggling in being a narcissist, then you need more infilling of the Holy Spirit. That's all you need. Because the Bible told us that the fruit of the Spirit is what? Is love, joy, kindness, temperance, long suffering. Those things, they are part of the package. But because we're not conscious of them, we're not asking the Holy Spirit to help us when we get to that junction where we need to make those decisions, where we need to deal with those issues before they exhibit themselves through us. We're not taking charge of our mind. We're not taking charge of our thoughts. We're not taking charge of our behavior. We're not seeking help because we feel that we know everything. We feel that we are always right. We feel that I can't be wrong. So we keep hurting the other person in the relationship. Go and seek help. Go and seek help. Go and seek help. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is you have to start learning relationship competency. So if both of you does not get into a space of agreeing on learning about relationship competency, then go your whole way. Go your separate way. It's okay to go your separate way. That's the truth. We have seen cases of women being killed by their partners. Because why? Because something is just wrong with them and they didn't deal with it on time. And you also choose to stay. So what do we do? What do we do when you walk away? Because going out of intimate partner violence alone is not enough. You need to do something when you walk away. You see, one thing I found out is this. The cycle of abuse, we call something generational curse. I'm not saying I'm a spiritual person. I won't tell you that there's no generational curse. But I gave generational curse another name. I call it generational attitude. So if you are able to break the cycle of that attitude, either through therapy, either through knowing, coming to know God, either through becoming self-aware, either through becoming spiritual, if you are able to break that cycle, then that thing will not continue again. Whether you pray or you don't pray. In fact, when you pray, let me tell you the truth. Go and pray. Go and do deliverance. If you don't change your attitude, that thing will repeat itself. That's the pure truth. That's the pure truth. Because we feel that everything is prayer. But let me tell you, faith without work. If you go and pray, go and sleep on the mountain from today till tomorrow, and you don't deal with the source of the anger, you will come back and still beat your wife up. You will come back and still beat your spouse up. You need to take a step. Something is wrong somewhere. You that stayed in the abuse, something is wrong somewhere. It's obvious your self-esteem is damaged. You don't have a father in your life. You don't have father figures in your life. Who raised you? As a man, who raised you? As a woman, who raised you? The abuser knew that nobody raised you, so they've decided to torment you and keep tormenting you because they knew that nobody is speaking for you, and you are also naive. You don't know anything. You're just a very, a very sweet lady, a very sweet woman who just want to have husband so that you escape the pain of your childhood. That's all you wanted to do. So the abuser take advantage of that. But when you walk away, what will happen to your children? You transfer the aggression to them because you're not healed. So this is the first thing. This is one of our targets on Family Life Builders TV. We have the mandate of being the repairer of the breach and the restorer of the path to dwell in. And those that will be of us will build the old waste places. So if our community will be healed, when women are healed, when mothers are healed, they can help the children. And when the children grow up to be the arrow that God created them to be, then they can change our world. They can turn the political system around. They can do great things for God. They can do exploits. But are we willing to empower ourselves as a woman? You empower yourself spiritually. You empower yourself academically, educationally. You don't need to have 5 credits to get into an institution again. There is an institution of YouTube that does not request anything from you. Several educational platforms out there. There is this one called edX. You can audit their courses for free. Combination of Ivy League schools. You can audit their classes for free. Just learn it quick. Nobody is looking for your certificate, but what you can do, what you can produce, the change you can make. Empower yourself. Don't just walk away from abuse. Empower yourself. The next thing you want to learn, because we are all social animals, you want to learn relationship competency. This is very essential. When you're going through a new relationship with the baggage of the first one that you did not drop, that you did not deal with, how are you going to do it? It's not going to work again. You're going to go back to the other situation. I cannot say it all. Um, so I have quite a number of perks on Family Life Builders TV membership. We have quite a number of courses there that you can join that we will be teaching you. But for this time and for the sake of breaking the cycle of abuse, we created another pack which is just $199. I mean, that is what is less than what you use to buy soda or coffee, a cup of coffee, to teach yourself how to break the cycle of abuse. And these are the things that we are going to be teaching ourselves. You will be able to define your purpose. You'll be able to clarify it. Because sometimes if you don't even know yourself, in the first place, you got into the hand of that man because you don't know yourself so well. Okay? Healthy people meet healthy people. Sick people meet sick people because you're codependent. You want to, something is missing in his life, something is missing in your life. So both of you feel that you can help each other, which does not work that way most of the time. We're going to do the ASA check, adverse childhood effect check. We're going to see what has happened to you, what is happening to you, and what you want to happen to you. We're going to go into emotional healing, and this is where I'm going to be using my CBT, NLP, and and all the certification and trainings that I have in helping with emotional healing. This is where I will be doing this. Am I qualified to do it? Yes, because I've been there, and I this is a journey of finding my path, finding my healing, and becoming a better me. Even as a child who witnessed domestic violence, it's a lot for me. It's a trauma, but I came out of it and I become the best, and I'm becoming a better me every day. Okay, so the next thing is we're going to be teaching you how to understand what you want, how to position yourself for the right partner, because the kind of the kind where you go to, who you work with, who you talk to, how you dress, what you say, how you talk will determine the kind of person you will be attracted to. So you want to attract the right person, then you are going to position yourself for that right person. So we're going to be talking about how to date, how to choose. We're going to be talking about conflicts management strategies. We're going to be dealing with relationship etiquette and correct attitude. And then we're going to be looking at pre-marriage counseling. Let me quickly talk about this relationship etiquette and correct attitude. I once taught someone this skill, and it's so much work for them. I taught them like 4 years ago or 5 years ago. So they are just getting married, and they don't have enough at that point, and people are always coming to their house to visit them and all that. So I said, look, what you're going to do, and they feel overwhelmed because of how the position they feel they are. People are expecting a lot for them, but they don't really have that a lot. So I said, look, this is what you're going to do. When visitor comes in, including your in-laws, including your husband's friends, this is what you're going to do. You say, hey, thank you so much for coming. Oh my God, it's been a while. How is your family? Then you go to the fridge and bring them a bottle of water, put the water down and say, hey, so how is it? Tell me what is going on. Then you're going to say, so what should I offer you? Most of the time, typically they will say, oh, I'm okay. You keep talking. If you have cookies, you're gonna go and bring it. But you know you don't have food, and you're not gonna give them food. So the second time you're gonna ask again, oh, are you sure? Are you really sure you're okay? They'll say, yes, I'm okay. An average person will do that. The person that will ask you for food, they must be very close to you. So, and once they say that, make sure you don't repeat it the third time so that they don't tell you to go and bring what you have. So, and people have used that strategy and it really works for them. And of course, if you don't have, and there are people that that if you offer them something, they will take it, no better to offer them. But of course, it works for some people. So this is my offer to you today. Go to Family Life Builders TV and request for yours. Let me know if you have any question, if you're still with me till this moment. Let me see. I couldn't check my box right now because I'm on the screen. So I'm going to stop sharing right now and look at the chat box if there's any question. If there's no question, I'm going to close and I'm going to remind you. I'm going to say thank you so much. And I'm going to ask you to please share with someone. Don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe. And I'm going to say till I come your way again, you need to keep becoming a better you, because things actually work when we work it. And yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my sis. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much. Oh, I want to say thank you. Thank you to everybody for joining me Till I come your way again, keep becoming a better you because things work when we work it. I'll see you the next time. Bye for now.